Welcome, children of the net, to a brand new episode of...
Why is everything so dark in here?
What the... Halicorn? Lyra? Get out of here! You're ruining the ambience!
Whatever, but seriously, light up this room. I can't even see your wacky bearded monkey face.
That's kind of the point. Not seeing my face creates a sense of mystery. Now, if you'd please...
Oh, I get it. You're suddenly become aware of your looks and now you feel ashamed to appear in front of the camera. Oh, you poor ugly humanling, you.
On second thought, stay right there. Much better. As I was saying, welcome, children of the net, to a brand new episode of... Yuri, literally translated as Lily, a fictional genre depicting girls in a love relationship, focusing primarily on the emotional and sexual aspects of it. Ponies, roughly translated as We Love Them, fictional characters from a children's cartoon with a huge adult fanbase. Combine the two elements together and what do you get? A fairly good story. A neither spectacular nor particularly noteworthy story, but still competently written and lovingly crafted. It's just a slice-of-life girls' love tale with a school setting. A university, actually. Like many others. Not that I would know any of them, of course. The only key difference is that it stars the single most popular shipping in the My Little Pony fandom, DJ Pon 3, also known as Vinyl Scratch, and Octavia. That's probably the main, if not the only reason why this fanfiction gets to be this successful. As you might have guessed by the horde of people armed with pitchforks and torches coming to lynch me, Vinyl and Octavia University Days is insanely popular. To the point, in fact, of producing a vast array of dedicated music and artworks, among many other forms of blind-sided admiration. Before the irate mob decides to burn me alive, allow me to expand.
So, Octavia, what are your mornings usually like, living with a DJ?
I wake up every morning, I come downstairs, she's doing the dishes. She's great, right? A roommate who does the dishes. Only... one problem. She cleans them with... wubs.
We crank that bass up to 11 and cleans off the dishes on a microscopic level! Yeah!
I was going to be first chair cellist for the Royal Canterlot Symphony. How is this my life?
Again, this is a well-written story that shows a great deal of maturity in the depiction of the two mares' increasingly romantic relationship. A relationship that feels grounded in reality, both in the constant awareness and self-awareness of cause and effect, and the still very irrational longing for one another. Which is the opposite of the childish, over-romanticized emotion-gasm that's usually given for granted in this genre. Or so I've heard. As such, we have a love affair that blooms and develops at its own pace, faces its own mostly self-imposed obstacles, and as such, gains its own substance and weight. In other words, Vinyl and Octavia aren't simple school fillies in a hormone-driven infatuation, they are young adult university students trying to be in a serious relationship, as far as their age will allow. The strongest element in this fiction's favor has to be found in its narrative style, which is presented in the appealing shape of a third-person perspective with a limited knowledge of the world around the two main characters, neither completely omniscient about everything that's going on at any given time, nor completely restrained by a single unique point of view. It's a refreshing way to immerse the readers in the figurative horseshoes of the leading heroines as they perceive and discover things along with them, and other subplots are introduced entirely through their limited perception of the world. The only moment the story's perspective switches gears to omniscient mode happens in the later chapters, as a clever means to introduce the main conflict and its bearer. As I said, University Days is pretty good for what it is, but it's still what it is. Look, I've read Fallout Equestria, Background Pony, and, on a lesser extent, Past Sins. All stories that have raised the bar immeasurably not just for pony fanfictions, but for contemporary Western literature, at least for me. From my perspective, this one will always be simply a well-written Yuri fiction with a gimmick. No amount of good writing can change the immense predictability of the setting and the direction the story will take once the relationship is established, although it might still reserve some surprises in future chapters. Not to mention the inevitable and irritating presence of the wise older figure that always knows what is best for everyone and acts like a blatant plot device rather than an actual character. There's one in every young love story, apparently. Thus, we get to the crux of the problem. Does this story work because of its own strength, or because Vinyl and Octavia were a popular shipping to begin with? The answer, in my opinion, is both. The My Little Pony fandom possesses something that other fandoms can only dream of.
It's my base cannon!
Background characters. They exist in the official canon merely by visual presence, but they are never brought up or explored, leaving them in the alluring, not quite OCs but open to interpretation spot that captured the imagination of every artist and writer who became fond of them. As such, a classic pairing of opposite personalities, who were only opposite by design at first, can not only ascend to be a widely recognized headcanon, but it can also dare to achieve a status of unquestionable canonship by sheer popularity alone. Fan-made background couples like Vinyl and Octavia, or Lyra and Bonbon, are important because they have evolved beyond the status of simple reflections of someone's shipping fantasy and become a symbol of the fandom's both artistic and intellectual expression. Said expression wouldn't feel just as righteous if said characters were regular OCs and not actual existing portions of the show they love, a portion that exists for the very purpose of being expanded and reinvented by those very fans. University Days is a celebration and heartfelt homage not only to this specific couple, but to the very concept of this couple. It's not the best story about Vinyl and Octavia, that honor is reserved for the vinyl scratch tapes, but it most certainly helped increase its already huge reception in the form of a relatable and fairly realistic little fanfiction that can be enjoyed by anyone.
You hurt me now, but I won't cry. I am Octavia. I am Octavia.
With that said, for the love of Celestia, they're bloody horses! I don't need to know what they do at night, gee!
Alrighty class, welcome to your first lecture here at Manhattan University. I'm sure we're all gonna get along quite famously, so who's ready to learn?
Lecture time, better hurry, peace of mind, drinking with berry unicorns, Pegasi, prop performing, shirt and tie, apple cider at the bar, drink it down, you've gone too far, music class follows after water, musical disaster, lecture here, lecture there, lots of students everywhere go into town, hit the club, partying is what you love, alarm goes off in the morning, phone is ringing, who is calling, best friend, pick a phone, where are you, I don't know. This is the time for us to seize our future, but certain things get in our way. I don't know where I'll be in 20 years, but these are our university days. Gosh, notes, pen is handy, everything is fine and dandy. Psych class, stupid task, I can't believe that they're not friends. Classical, dubstep, a mix designed to perplex. Lyra, Bon, what could possibly go wrong? Stay up late, go out drinking, treble clever's got me thinking. Drunken call, 3 a.m. final, this is mayhem. Octavia, you so fine, you blow my mind. This craziness has got to end. Final, you're my best friend. This is